What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, we're gonna get straight into things. Before I continue, I do want to let you know that this week Thursday there's not going to be any video, and potentially on Sunday there won't be a video as I'm going on holiday. But nonetheless, today, Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll definitely be doing our daily reviews as normal. So you'll see we're here on the dollar. Hopefully you've watched my weekly review yesterday. If not, go and check that out. And you know that I'm wanting to see a down close week. So I'm looking for that high of the week to get made Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And you can see we've just retraced back into this weekly inversion fair value gap. Now the fact that we've closed inside of the fair value gap is showing a level of strength, which will indicate to me that price may want to trade on higher to a higher premium. Originally, I was saying that I wanted price to trade to the midpoint of the inversion fair value gap and then turn around and trade lower. The fact that we have traded to that midpoint, however, haven't, got a strong reaction away from it, is suggesting to me that price will likely want to trade on higher. And due to this, we need to start thinking about where it may want to reach to. One thing I didn't bring our attention to in yesterday's video was this breaker. So we have a high, a low, a higher high, and then we have displacement. So this low right here is a breaker low. And it's very possible that price may want to try and reach into this premium. So let's get that marked out as daily breaker low. I'm going to get rid of this. And you'll also see that that is also in a fair value gap as well. So we have a fair value gap coupled with a breaker. And then as we drop down to the lower time frames, I'm going to be looking in this range to see where price may want to trade to create the premium. So moving into Tuesday, I am expecting another up close day because I do want to see if it can reach into here. And remember, we do have a lot of high impact news for the rest of the week on every single day. And obviously towards the end of the week, we have CPI and all sorts of things going on. So I wouldn't be surprised if they rallied price quite heavily and then we just snap back as we get through to Wednesday, Thursday, and see price trade lower. But the fact that I never brought our attention to this before, it's standing out to me now quite a bit. So I'm not too concerned about the inversion fair value gap. If anything, we're just going to use it to help us trade. So once we trade out, so if we do take out the high of that inversion fair value gap, I'll be looking at it to provide support to reach for where this daily high and our daily breaker low, and this fair value gap specifically in the premium. So that's how I'm looking moving into the Tuesday. Let's go to the 4 hour. And you'll see how price came down and then traded back into that inversion fair value gap. So again, I'm expecting this inversion fair value gap to provide support. And you'll see we also have a breaker here where we have a low, high, lower low, and delivery to the upside. We haven't quite taken out that high yet, but this last up close candle, I want to see that provide support. So let's draw that out. We'll make this black. And the very lowest I want to see price trade tomorrow is going to be the midpoint of that. So let's get that delineated like so. So I'm looking for price to retrace back into here, preferably even the 25% level. I will mark that out for us as well, and you'll see that I'm using volume. So now we have two levels. Once we drop down to the low time frames, that we're going to study and have a look to see, okay, where could price retrace based off these levels to create the potential low of the day. And then, like I said, based off with the use of high impact news, trade up into a premium. So we have this up to close candle right here. We have this high on the 4 hour, and obviously another fair value gap. So let's get all this delineated. And the reason for this is because we know that this is a daily fair value gap, and now you can see there's a 4 hour fair value gap within inside the daily. So we're starting to layer our PD arrays to try and get as specific as possible. So bring it to the front. Let's go to the 1 hour, and you'll see again fair value gaps, premium one and a discount one. I am going to mark out that premium one just because price may want to get up there. Drag that out, make this one yellow. And obviously we have this buy side liquidity above there. So I am looking for price to trade on higher, create the low, preferably at this blue level right here where we have the breaker, the last up close candle. And then I'd like to target this buy side liquidity. Let's go to the 15-minute as well. And you'll see again a nice swing high right there where it's going to be stops residing, and again fair value gaps. So let's just keep homing in really what's the word, precisely, to see if price can get into this level. Again, we're looking at this blue level, and you can see that blue level lines up nicely with a fair value gap on the 15-minute as well. So definitely watch this And you can see I've already found support on the 50% level, so ideally price shouldn't need to go back down into this discount. It can just use this level to key off to be sent higher. So let's make this red. And as price is trading into this, I'll be looking at the time of day. Maybe it's 3 a.m. to create the low of the day. And then if we expand outside of it, I'll be looking for shorts on the pairs. It's as simple as that, guys. Let's drop down to the 5 minute as well. And you can see there's still gaps there. That's what we like to see. And finally, let's go up here and see if we can see anything on the 5 minute. And you can see there's a gap there as well. So yeah, that's pretty much how I'm looking at moving into the new day. I want to see the low get created. Let's go back to the 1 hour, 15 minute even. I want to see the low get created within this range. Again, ideally above this 50% level. So if we trade into here and we are getting a reversal, my stop loss, I'll be placing at the 50% level because it shouldn't need to go down there. If it does, I'll simply let it do its thing. But ideally, I'd like to think I can keep my stop here with the expectation to start running for that buy side liquidity pool up here. And again, into our premium PDA rate, which is that fair value gap. So that's how I'm looking moving into the Tuesday, sorry. And again, the reason for that is because we're hanging around in that weekly inversion fair value gap for too long. I wanted to see price leave it. We didn't leave it. We came right back into it, and now we're hanging around. So as far as I'm concerned, it's likely going to trade on higher. And Monday has given that to us, which is another reason I don't trade Mondays, because, you know, although I wanted to see us trade lower, the Monday is showing me now we're likely not going to go for this sell side liquidity for now. We'll probably come back for it later in the week. So I hope that all makes sense. Let's head on to GBP USD. So we will start on the daily here as well. And you can see obviously we've had a down close day. So similarly to dollar, well, our targets on GBP are up here for buy side liquidity. I'll just quickly get that marked out. That's our buy side target. But remember, if we're expecting another up close day on dollar, we want to see a down close day on pound, or, you know, we want to see some more discount reached into. And what do we have? There withholds a beautiful large fair value gap. So very classic. Looking to see if price can dip down into that, accumulate orders, and then eventually leave it. But it's nice to see that that's formed. In terms of the high of the day tomorrow, very high, so I want to see price trade, consequent encroachment, ideally the 25% level. So we are going to get both levels marked out. Like so. And then when we drop down to low time frames, I'll be looking around these levels to see, okay, are there any PDA rays we can key off to potentially frame short to then run down into our sell side target. Because remember, I want to see that buy side get taken, but price is refusing to go up there right now. So we're obviously trying to create the low of the week still. Well, it looks like it to me. Here's the 4 hour. You can see how we traded into a premium, and now we have this bearish order block. And what does that bearish order block just happen to line up with? That's that 25% level off the wick I was talking about. So we can now mark that out. We'll make that black, and we can put 4 hour bearish order block. And as price is trading into that, again, to create the high of the day ideally, I'd like to think that dollar will be trading down into that discount level I brought our attention to, and then that will line up nicely to frame potential shorts to then run down into our discount. So now we need to look at PDA rays in the discount that price may want to trade to. Well, on the daily, we have this daily fair value gap. On the 4 hour, what do we see? We see another fair value gap. So now I'm going to be looking in this range to get traded to. Let's go down to the 1 hour, and we'll do the exact same thing. What do we have? We have a bullish order block as well right here, and we have a fair value gap in there as well. So we do need to definitely keep an eye on these as potential targets for price, or for price to key off. And then this is also a breaker. It's the last down close before the up move that caused this big move lower. So it's nice to see that that 4 hour bearish order block lines up with our breaker and a fair value gap. So we've got PDA rays that are layering each other, and I love to see this kind of price action. So we have a 4 hour bearish order block, we have a breaker and a fair value gap. So this is the high. I want to see price turn. I want to see price find resistance here to then send it lower into sell stops below here, and then we have the bullish order block and that fair value gap that we need to look closer into. So again, there's that fair value gap. There's a nice little swing high above here to grab some level of buy stops, and then in the discount you can see that fair value gap right here. Now it's not really very clear on this time frame, so I will drop down to the 5 minute. We should find more PDA rays. We have relatively equal lows, this low and this low. Yes, we wick down on the back of non-farm payroll, but nonetheless I'm looking at this consolidation. Let's see if the 1 minute offers us anything. So these are beautiful relative equal lows for sure. This low and this low. So there's definitely south side liquidity below there. So it'll be interesting to see if price wants to reach into that. In terms of fair value gaps, there isn't one around here, which is a little bit concerning. But nonetheless, I want to see if price can reach down into that discount moving into the new day. But first, I want to see it reach up into this premium. Give me signals of resistance. If we reach up here and it's like 3 o'clock and we see a reversal forming, I'll happily go short. If not, and we trade through it, whole different story. I'm simply staying out. It's really as simple as that. So that's how I'm looking at GBP. I hope that all makes sense. But yeah, let's now finish up on Euro USD. We'll start here on the daily as well. And again, down close day we're expecting, aren't we? Because we want to see more deeper discount get traded to. Now, we do have this fair value gap all the way down here, but we also have an implied fair value gap. So which one are we going to use? Well, I am going to get this one marked out, just because I wouldn't put it past Euro at this point. And the highest I want to see price trade is this rejection block level right here. So definitely keep an eye on that. And then once we drop down to the lower time frames, we should be able to frame it much better. Let's get this inversion, implied fair value gap, marked out as well, just because we shouldn't ignore it, and it is a closer target for the discount. And then let's go to the 4 hour. So you'll see we're currently in a consolidation, but we have a high, low, higher, high situation going on, assuming we're trading lower. So we're kind of in a we're kind of in a breaker, kind of not. Not the cleanest price action at all, but nonetheless we should definitely mark out this as a bearish order block, and this high as well. But excuse me, let's go to the 1 hour, take a closer look, and you can see price is a lot more cleaner here. So this, we've got a high, low, higher high, and price has traded lower. So this down close candle is a breaker. So I'm looking at this down close candle to get traded to, and you can see it's also coupled with a bearish order block and a fair value gap just above there. So price very may well want to trade up into this premium. That's completely fine. Same thing, I'll be looking for some kind of discount up there. Sorry, I'll be looking for resistance once price gets up there to then send price lower. However, we might not even get into these highs, and if that's the case, I'll be looking at this bearish order block as well. So it depends where price is. So let's say dollar is reaching down into its discount and Euro is reaching up into this bearish order block. That's fine for me to go short off. However, if Euro's above here and it's reaching into this fair value gap and dollar's reaching down into its discount PD array and we're finding support on dollar, then I'll use that PD array. It's as simple as that. We can only wait, but it does matter. The only thing that really matters is time of day. Then again, I want to see resistance, so I want to see us trade on lower, looking at these lows, especially this one, to get targeted for sell side. And then obviously this is that massive daily fair value gap where we can see a fair value gap inside of it. This is an implied fair value gap, so it's not as strong, so maybe we shouldn't even look at that. We'll just keep an eye on this one. It is a very deep discount, but I wouldn't be surprised if price made it down there. So yeah, all I'm watching basically moving into tomorrow is to see how we treat these levels. First, this bearish order block, and then the fair value gap. If we trade through that fair value gap and we start finding support, I'll stay out and I'll let price do its thing. If we find resistance as we expect, then I'll start hunting for shorts during the kill zones to head for our sell side liquidity target. Same thing on dollar. So I'll be watching how we treat this range. Remember this whole black range? I think it's a daily PD array. It's a 4 hour PD array. I'm watching this whole candle right here to see how we treat it inside. If we start trading through it with aggression, I'll simply stay out of the charts and not trade today. If we find support and we see us trading out of it at the right time of day, I'll be comfortable with longs on dollar and shorts on the pairs, with the expectation to reach for this buy side liquidity target. Same on GBP, obviously the opposite. I'm watching these levels. If we find resistance, I'll happily trade it with shorts, expecting to reach into this sell side. However, if we trade through it, I simply stay up the charts and let it do its thing. So I hope that all makes sense, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Smash subscribe, join the mailing list, join the Discord, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.